Welcome back to another virtual tutorial. Today, we're going to be taking a look at the new and much improved scene editor. Let's start with the basics. Notice that when you hover over an object, it gets highlighted in white. This means that this object is selectable and can be modified. When you click on the object, the highlight will become yellow. You can now modify this object's location and properties through the various panels and buttons on screen. So, let's begin with positioning an object. Here at the bottom right corner, there are 3 buttons that allow you to precisely move an object around. The first button is the circle tool, which when selected, you'll notice a white icon appearing on top of objects that you mouse over. The outer ring, if you click it and drag it around, will allow you to rotate the object, while the inner ring will allow you to scale the object, and the center dot will allow you to move the object in an X and Y axis freely. The second button is the position tool, which when selected will allow you to precisely move an object in all 3 axes around your scene. The third button is the rotation tool, which will allow you to rotate the object in every direction in a 360 degree as you wish. Now, next to these 3 buttons are the more general tools. This one here in the 4th slot is a scaling tool, which, as the name suggests, allows you to adjust the object's size. Next to that is the free cam button, which when you toggle it, will allow you to move around the scene quickly without having to control your character, which is useful for when you want to decorate locations that your avatars cannot reach. To its right is the icon toggle, which allows you to toggle on and off any icons that are invisible within the scene, such as sound nodes or light sources. Next to that is the volume icon, which will allow you to see any invisible volumes currently existing in this room, such as dance floors and water volumes. Then there is the snap to grid toggle, which, as the name suggests, will allow objects to snap to an invisible grid within the scene as you move it around, for that perfect alignment and placement of all your assets. Last but not least is the shopping cart, which when you press will open up a store, which is similar to the clothing store. Now, moving on to the side panel. The first tab is Selection. This window remains empty by default until an object is selected, at which point you'll be able to see and select the object properties in detail. Its position, its scale and rotation in numeric values, and its title, which are all adjustable. There's one additional cool feature that was recently added, and that is the object customization system. You may notice that certain objects now have a color changer within their hierarchy, usually under miscellaneous. This will allow you to change the color of the object to match your design, like so. In the future, additional customizable elements will be added to various objects, though keep in mind that this feature only exists for objects that are designed to have this function to begin with, which are all listed under the Customizable Objects category in the Object Mall. Above that is the selection hierarchy, which, if you have multiple objects selected, they will be listed here so that if you want to quickly jump to a single object, you simply need to click on its name as opposed to looking for it in the scene. The second tab is the Scene tab. Here you can see every object that exists in this entire scene under the hierarchy window. The first tab is the add-on window, which is where you can modify the invisible elements of the region, such as light sources, volumes, scripts, and locations of an avatar's spawn point upon entry to the scene, or also known as a start point. The next tab is the Inventory tab. This is where you can see what kind of objects and assets you own, which you can then place within the scene. When you select an object, you'll be able to see a preview of it at this window, which you can also rotate and zoom. Once you've decided on an object, you simply need to drag the object from the menu and onto the scene itself. By default, you're given a limited amount of assets to decorate your scene, but there are many ways to expand your inventory, from special event challenges created by our development team, or to simply click on this big store icon and shop to your heart's content. Then there's the Layout tab, which allows you to create a new layout of your scene as it currently is, which you can choose to go back to anytime you want. Each layout will have 4 icons, the first being Duplicate, which clones the currently selected scene. Delete, which will remove the layout permanently, Go To, which will transport you to that layout, and Publish, which will turn that layout from the design mode, which only you can see, to a public one, which everyone who visits your scene will see. Finally, there's the Weather tab, which currently is still under construction as of the making of this video, so be on the lookout for part 2 when the weather system becomes available. One last thing. Notice on the top bar, there are now two gray buttons once you enter Scene Edit mode. The first one is the Publish button, which when you pressed and confirmed, you will publish the layout and design you are currently in to public. Any changes you made will be updated to the live instance of the scene. Next to that is the Exit button, which is how you exit the scene, but when you press it, it will ask you one more time whether or not you want to publish your current design. And that's it. We hope this tutorial has been helpful, and we look forward to seeing all your amazing designs in the future.